On July 20th, 1969, the world watched history unfold. For the first time in human history, people landed on the moon. NASA's Apollo 11 mission turned an impossible dream into reality. Inside the lunar module, named Eagle, were two astronauts, Neil Armstrong and Buzz Aldrin. As the world held its breath, Armstrong struggled to open the hatch. Pressure made it difficult, but he finally managed. During the exit, his bulky spacesuit hit the control panel. A small but vital switch broke off. No one heard it because there's no air on the moon. No sound. That switch controlled the engine ignition, the only way they could return to Earth. Unaware of this, Neil Armstrong climbed down the ladder and placed his foot on the lunar surface. One small step for man, one giant leap for mankind. 650 million people watched live. It was humanity's proudest moment. But did it really happen? Even after 50 years, millions of people believe the moon landing was fake. They claim it was filmed on Earth, a Cold War stunt to beat the Soviet Union. So what's the truth? Let's go back in time. In the 1950s, America and the Soviet Union were locked in the Cold War. Both wanted to dominate not just the Earth, but space itself. In 1957, the Soviets shocked the world by launching Sputnik, the first ever artificial satellite. Then, in 1961, Yuri Gagarin became the first human in space. Once again, the Soviets were ahead. That's when President John F. Kennedy made a bold promise. Before this decade is out, we shall land a man on the moon and return him safely to Earth. At that time, computers filled entire rooms. There were no smartphones, no GPS, no internet. Still, NASA accepted the challenge. Thousands of scientists, engineers, and dreamers worked day and night to make it happen. From 1961 to 1969, NASA launched multiple test missions. There were failures, explosions, and even tragedy, when 3 astronauts lost their lives during a test in 1967. But NASA didn't stop. Every failure brought them one step closer. Finally, on July 16th, 1969, the Saturn V rocket blasted off with 3 men aboard: Neil Armstrong, Buzz Aldrin, and Michael Collins. After 4 days and nearly 400,000 kilometers of travel, Apollo 11 reached lunar orbit. Collins stayed in the command module above, while Armstrong and Aldrin descended in the Eagle. Suddenly, warning alarms blared, codes 1201 and 1202. The computer was overloaded. Mission Control replied calmly, "We're go for landing." Armstrong took manual control, searching for a safe spot between massive boulders. With only 30 seconds of fuel left, he gently brought the Eagle down. Tranquility Base here, the Eagle has landed. For the next 2.5 hours, Armstrong and Aldrin explored the moon. They collected rocks and dust, set up experiments, and planted the American flag. They left behind a plaque that read, "Here, men from the planet Earth first set foot upon the moon, July 1969 AD. When they returned to the module, they noticed the broken switch, the one Armstrong had damaged. Without it, they couldn't ignite the engine to go home. Buzz Aldrin looked around and found a ballpoint pen. He used that pen to complete the circuit and start the engine. That single pen saved their lives. They rejoined Michael Collins in orbit and began their journey back to Earth. As they entered Earth's atmosphere, their spacecraft broke apart into sections. For a moment, it looked like debris might hit their capsule. President Richard Nixon even had a speech ready, in case the astronauts died. It began with the words, "Fate has ordained that the men who went to the moon will stay on the moon to rest in peace." But thankfully, the command module splashed down safely in the Pacific Ocean. All 3 men survived. The world celebrated. Humanity had done the unthinkable, but not everyone believed it. Some said the flag was waving. But there's no wind on the moon. NASA had added a horizontal rod at the top to keep it extended. Others said, "Where are the stars?" The answer is simple. The sunlight on the moon was so bright, the stars were too faint to appear on camera. and those weird shadows. That's because sunlight reflected off the moon's surface, creating scattered light from multiple directions. Even the Soviet Union, America's rival, confirmed the moon landing as genuine. Their scientists tracked the mission in real time. Yes, the Apollo program was incredibly expensive, about $25 billion back then, over $100 billion today. Many said the money should have been used for schools or hospitals, but that mission changed the world. It gave birth to new technology, especially computer microchips, which made modern computing, the internet, and AI possible. After Apollo 11, 5 more missions landed on the moon. The last one, Apollo 17, flew in 1972. Since then, no human has gone back. But now, NASA is preparing again, the Artemis program. By 2025 or 2026, NASA plans to send the first woman and the first person of color to the moon. Soft, inspiring outro tone. The Apollo 11 mission wasn't just about reaching the moon, it was about proving that when humans dream big, nothing is impossible. So the next time you look up at the night sky, remember, we've already been there once, and soon we'll go back.